Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to discuss Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is, they took a stance. They took a stance to uh, show their support for the LGBTQ community. But, when you do that kind of stuff, sometimes you have backlash. Some people don't like it. I feel as a business owner, you shouldn't take no political stance unless it's like, some type of church thing is a moral compass thing. But anyway, so they're receiving a lot of backlash, and it's now starting to affect their profit margins. So we're going to discuss that. We have some other business news like Chrysler. Chrysler has a massive recall. So we'll go over the list of cars that they're recalling. Chrysler is suffering because of their lack of what is it called? I guess craftsmanship. It's another word I want to use. Somebody put it in the chat. Let me know what their quality, actually their quality of their vehicles. And my husband works for Chrysler, and he talks about some of the things that he's noticed within Chrysler manufacturing, and some good, some bad. So we'll discuss that, the massive recall. And also we're going to talk about Chicago crime. Chicago crime, hey, when it gets warm outside, Chicago crime increases. It increases because, the roaches like to come out in the heat. So we have people, these bad actors, that try to ruin it for everybody. Okay, so we'll discuss that all today on another episode of Business Talks.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad what? Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad what? This is what you call a bad something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad what? This is what you call a bad
You guys put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Let's see who we got in the building. We have Noble Young in the building. Thank you for tuning in. AJC, what is up? Just got home from the gym. Noble Young said it's leg day. Okay, leg day. Tiffany Riley, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. Samuel Matthews, it's always good to see you. What is this? Milk 35. Hey, Milk 35. And Eric Sanderson from Virginia, and Milk 35. He is tuning in from Tampa, Florida. Okay, so we're going to go to our first story for the hour. I want to lay out this scenario for Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, I think they shot themselves in the foot. To me, I don't think it's nothing wrong with taking a stance. They thought did the right thing, but unfortunately for them, you have to know that the trans community is probably about 0.05% of the population. They do garner support if you are on the liberal side. Some people, garner support, and this is the LGBTQ plus IA community. So they do garner support from people that's on the liberal side. Some conservatives who are in that community, they tend to stick up for women's rights. Okay. Does it mean that if you are for trans rights, are you not necessarily for women's rights? Well, Planet Fitness basically said, hey, we don't care how women feel. We just care how men feel if they feel like a woman. So that's just like an oxymoron, is a double negative. You don't really care about women. You can't just say you care about women and you say at the same breath, we will allow someone to come in your private personal space because they feel, not because they're passing. It's only because they're feeling. Now, I'm going to share this video with you. This is from the 911 caller. You know what? I'm sorry. I want to share this particular story with you before I share the 911 caller. And this particular story is, this was back in March. Okay. Back in March, let me make sure I got my screen right. Back in March, you had a man coming into Planet Fitness women's restroom. Okay. He came into the women's restroom and he said, "Hey, I want to shave my face and I feel like a woman. Okay. I feel like a woman today. I want to shave my face." Whether this man is actually identifying as a trans woman, we don't know. We don't know. So this woman, biological woman, she was in the restroom. She came in and she noticed a little girl like taken back, like, "Hey, this dude is in here shaving his damn face. Like, what the hell is going on?" The little girl was frightened. Okay. The little girl was frightened and she said, "Hey, this dude is in here shaving his restroom." The woman decided to take a picture. Okay. She took the picture and she shared it on her video. It says, "This new incident comes weeks after," and the new incident, I'm not going to share that new incident until after I share this. Okay. He said he identified as a woman. This is the woman, trans woman. Okay. He identified as the woman, and the woman who purportedly filmed another gym goer who also identified as a transgender woman shaving over the sink. And he like, "What the hell you taking my picture for? You are invading my personal private space because you're taking me picture of me in the restroom." So she recorded, and this is in Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska. And they said she violated privacy, which is, they're correct. You can't take pictures of people in the bathroom. She violated, and they revoked her membership. Okay. Because of this trans woman. It says the woman reportedly had her membership revoked at her local Planet Fitness in Fairbanks, Alaska, while the shaving individual was allowed to return despite some public outrage. Planet Fitness made it clear it allows trans people to use whatever bathroom matches their self-reported gender identity, though it would be quick to boot those trying to abuse the policy or harass other gym goers. Okay. So they're saying, hey, if you feel like a woman, we're not going to question that. We're just going to allow you to use these women's spaces. This she wasn't a young lady. She was an individual that, took a picture of him. And it says, let me just rewind it back to what she is saying here.
Hey, I just wanted to say I just came out of Planet Fitness, and there is a man shaving in a women's bathroom. I realize he wants to be a woman. He gets to be a woman. I love him in Christ. He's a spiritual being having a human experience. He doesn't like his gender, so he wants to be a woman, but I'm not comfortable with him shaving in my bathroom. All right. I just thought I'd say it out loud.
So she received her membership revoked, and everybody was outraged. Okay. Everybody was outraged. And from that outrage, it sparked this. Okay. Planet Fitness stocks tumbles as boycott calls grow. Okay. So my point of saying this, hey, it's nothing wrong taking a political stance, but when you do, you just got to remember there are some things, some causations and reactions to the things that you react to. Okay, you said you're going to take a stand, so the reaction to you taking a stance is people canceling their membership. Okay, it says people calling for the boycott of Planet Fitness over its handling of transgender issues are claiming success after the gym's chain stock market value took a huge hit over the past week, and Elon Musk has weighed in. This happened back on March the 17th. The right-wing social media accounts Lib of TikTok posted on X, formerly Twitter, about the 2023 incident involving the man exposing himself to a 15-year-old girl in a locker room in Monroe, Georgia. Now, this is in Monroe. That was over a year ago. The incident I'm about to share with you, it happened yesterday or the day before yesterday. Anyway, so the gym's chain's value dropped from 5.3 billion to 4.9 billion. This was all in March, over a couple of days. Okay. And also been linked to a refusal to reverse the cancellation of the Alaskan customers' membership for sharing a photo of a trans woman using a female's locker room. The furor reflects a growing divide on the issue of transgender rights in the United States, with bills targeting the rights of transgender people being embraced by Republican governors and state houses across the country, and companies such as Bud Light facing boycotts from conservatives as well as some women's rights groups. You can't say, hey, I'm for women when you disregard women. Yeah, it can't be. It's not the same thing. Like I said, I'm not against transgender anything, but you can't say, hey, I'm for women's rights and you disregard women's rights. You guys put it in chat. Let me know if I'm going in the wrong direction. You disregarding women's rights. On March 19th, the screenshot posted by Robbie Starbuck, a music video director from a former Republican Congress hopeful in Nashville, Tennessee, reported Planet Fitness stock falling by 11.37% from the previous weeks. It bounced back. Okay, whatever. The stock bounced back, but I think the profit sharing, when their profit margins is being affected. And we got to remember, Planet Fitness is a franchise. So if you're part of that local franchising, if you own a franchise in your area, people might look at this and saying, hey, it might happen to me. So if this is a corporate thing, hey, we believe transgender women or transgenders, if they feel like they are a particular sex, they can't enter into those spaces. So like I said, if you are a franchise owner, you might be feeling the effects because some of your people might be canceling. You know, a woman is not going to want to be surprised walking into a woman's bathroom to take a shower and they got a man over there shaving his face, shaving his legs, or going around asking to lotion him up naked. Okay? I'm screaming because this is what this fool did. This guy, Planet Fitness member, totally naked in women's locker room. Okay? Women's locker room claimed to ID as a woman. This is the Pandora box that we open when we say we don't draw a hard line and saying, no, this is what we will allow and this is what we will not allow. When you don't draw a hard line in these type of issues, then you have people taking advantage of it. Okay? And not to say that other guy didn't feel like a trans man or trans woman, not to say he did, but you got some trans women that actually work hard and went through the surgeries and all the operations to be a trans woman. Then you got this fool. This fool. He got he don't even got a 5 o'clock shadow. He got a damn beard. He got a beard. This fool got a beard and he going around He said a Planet Fitness gym goer was arrested after allegedly walking around totally naked in the women's locker room, claiming that he identified as a woman. Something the gym didn't buy. No doubt. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this guy. He said he identified as a woman. This, like I said, the Pandora box that we open because we don't have a hard liner in these issues. Okay. Let me just share the 911 call with you. Okay. The young lady that witnessed this, she actually called her parents, and her parents said, "Hey, you need to call the cops."
2024, 18 hours, 45 minutes, 57 seconds.
Jackson County 911, where is your emergency?
Yes, I'm at Planet Fitness. It's not really an emergency.
Okay,
but
which Planet Fitness are you at?
This is not an emergency. It's just me and my friends. We're all, not minors, but we were just flashed by a man in the bathroom, and my parents told me to call and report it.
Okay. All right, and is that man still there?
Yeah, he's still in the bathroom. It's a man, but he says he identifies as a woman, and he won't leave the restroom. But he's just walking around showing us his and he won't leave.
Okay. And is he white, black, Hispanic? What's he wearing?
He's white, Caucasian with dreadlocks, about 5'10", brown hair.
And what's he wearing?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Okay, so he is completely naked.
He's completely naked.
Okay. And he's still in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, and what is your name? Okay, and what's the phone number you're calling from? All right, and are you going to be there to speak with the officer?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here and wait.
Okay, where are you going to be at in the facility?
The front door. It's on and I'll be at the front door.
Okay. All right, just stand by there and we're sending them out, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
So you had the caller call it in. This was in Gastonia, North Carolina. That's why they sound, country. They had a southern drawl to them. So she called in and she said, "Hey, yeah, this guy is still walking around in the bathroom naked. He said he identified as a woman. His name is Christopher Miller, identified as male by online booking records, was arrested in Gastonia, North Carolina, Thursday for an indecent exposure after gym goers claimed he walked into the women's locker room at a local Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness, I ask of you, okay, are you going to change your corporate policies? Because then you're going to have nut jobs like this in the other guy shaving his face at the no, look, if you want to be a woman, if I'm looking at the wrong camera. Hey, if you want to be a woman, all the trans people out there, if you want to be a woman, women don't go around shaving their face. We just usually do that at home. Even if we got some chin hairs growing, we gonna just pluck it at home. We don't go to the gym to pluck it. We definitely don't do that. We don't shave our legs. We don't go to the gym to shave our legs. No, we go to the gym to work out. If we need to wash up, we take a shower. But we don't do all that maintenance stuff that you think women in the locker room do. We don't do all that. We wash our hair, brush our teeth if we need it, put some deodorant on, and leave. Okay, so we don't go for maintenance stuff. We don't shave our beards. We don't. The little that we have, we don't. And I seen some women, they get a lot of whiskers on the bottom, and they go for their weekly waxing. I'm not, and sometimes some of them wax it at home, but we don't do this. Okay, so if you're trying to identify as a woman, just make sure you observe what women do. Don't just be like, oh, I identify as a woman, and go in there with a full face of hair and say, oh, I'm just shaving my face. So you could be looking at other women. Like, come on, stop creeping people out. And I think I'm laughing about it, but some people, they're preying on women. This is a dangerous situation. Planet Fitness probably will not change their rules until somebody gets hurt. Okay, is someone is accosted or assaulted. Okay, so a shocked woman reported. Let me just scroll down. I don't know why I jumped the page. A shocked woman reportedly called the police when she saw Miller telling the 911 operator a fully naked man wouldn't leave the room, adding he identified himself as a woman when asked to do so. According to WSOC TV, eyewitnesses they spoke to say Miller repeatedly asked a woman in the locker room to lotion one another up and then hop in the shower with him. Did I read this right? Miller repeatedly asked a woman in the locker room to lotion one another up and then hop in the shower with him. So he just want a freaky deaky moment. Maybe he just think women are like that. He's trying to play out his fantasy. You just stroll into the women's bathroom. Hey, why don't you guys just lotion each other up? And they would have been like, oh, okay. And they start lotioning each other up, kissing each other, and go into the bathroom or the shower with him. Like it was a porn movie. Like a random porn movie. You can't make this stuff up. This shit is crazy. Okay. So, and that's what he did. And it says, Planet Fitness made a statement to New York Post about the alleged incident, saying that the safety of employees and customers of the brand is PF's number one priority. Okay, well, it's not your priority because you kicked the other lady out because she couldn't believe that there was a man identifying a man. He actually looked like a man. He just got a bra. You ever seen a woman that look like that? No women look like that. What most women, if they trying to look good, they're not going to dress. Number one, women don't go to the gym with stockings on. We're not wearing that. Women don't do that. That's that I want to be a woman stuff. Most women don't. If we're going to the gym, we're wearing leggings. It don't matter what type of shape we are. We're going to go to the gym with leggings. We might have flip-flops on, but we definitely not going to throw on no damn stockings. Somebody put it in the chat. You ever wear stockings to the gym? Like, who does that? Nobody wearing no damn stockings to the gym. But this fool did. Okay, so anyway. That's enough of that. Let me look at some of your chats to see what y'all talking about. So we got Carolyn Cruz. She said he's a freak. I cannot believe this is actually accepted. Well, it is accepted. And matter of fact, it's being more widely accepted. Truska, hi Chawanne, hi chat, how's everyone doing? Say what now? I agree. The base gym is a great privilege and free. Gonna get one of those saunas that you can break down and plug in. Isn't that in reverse order too? Lotion, then shower. Yeah. So you could tell he was probably playing out some type of fantasy he has that he was trying to play out in his head. Lotion, then the shower. Yeah, that's a whole man in appearance. Oh, Truska, I could download the guy. His name is Matt Torrance. He has a website. I'll send it to you. Um, I'll put it in the chat before our time is up. Sorry, I do not. Let me ask. Oh, so Carolyn, I got you. So anyway, let's get to our next story. You guys put in the chat, let me know what you think about that one. This next story is from Chrysler. Now, Chrysler is having they have a massive recall. Massive recall, okay? And it says Chrysler is recalling 285,000 vehicles, model year 2018 to 2021, Dodge Chargers and Chrysler's 300s. The right and the left side curtain airbag inflators may rupture due to a manufacturer defect. Inflator rupture may result in sharp metal fragments striking occupants, resulting in injury or death. What to do? Letters are notifying the owners of the massive recall, and there's a 1-800 number that you could call, 1-800-853-1403. So that's if you have on one of these vehicles. Okay, so Chargers, Dodge Chargers, and Chrysler 300. Okay, so the only reason why I wanted to talk about this, number one, my husband, he works for Chrysler, and we just bought, I told you, that electric vehicle. He has an EV. We're leasing it. We're not buying it, but it's a lease, and it's an EV vehicle, and it's a 2023. Reason why, and we just leased it. Reason why it's a 2023 is because apparently they're not selling any of the EV vehicles. They're having a hard time selling it. Now, the vehicle we got, the MSRP price on that vehicle is about $60-something thousand. Okay, so just imagine if you are the average income, household income is probably $50,000 average in America. Would you actually be able to afford that vehicle? Because you're paying $600 or $700 worth a note, and then your insurance probably about $100 to $200, depending on where you live. Something upwards of $300. I think if you're in Detroit, you probably be paying $300 on insurance. So now you got this $900 car note that don't work. Literally, I've been stranded in my house for the last since Thursday, you guys. I'm saying stranded. I'm not really stranded. I Uber around town. But since we only got 2 vehicles, my husband's car was recalled. They have 2 recalls on this Jeep. Jeep recall for turning signal malfunction. I don't think that's it. That's the 2022 Jeep. Let me just share this with you. But they have a recall for the EV vehicles. I'm surprised they didn't put up. It's not in here. I don't see it in here. It's a recall. His is a 2023 Jeep Cherokee V something. I'm not for sure. Something's wrong with the pin. So when he drives, and something's wrong with the charger. Okay, so charger might catch on fire. I'm not for sure. And then the pin that carries the chassis and connects the wheels, something with the pin, but it connects the wheels and that. He was driving on the road and it started shaking. So he thought it was the road because, Michigan roads, some roads are still messed up. some roads in Michigan are still questionable. So he thought it was the road. So he got off the freeway, and then he got back on the freeway. It stopped, and he got back on the freeway, and it started shaking again. So he pulled, and just drove home on the street just to be safe, just because you never know if your car loses the front end, you just want to be not driving so fast. So anyway, so he got home. We checked the because we did receive 2 recalls, and one of the recalls was some type of pen. Anyway, I'm saying all this to say, Chrysler is going under some quality problems. They're not. Matter of fact, my vehicle, I have a Chrysler vehicle, and ever since I had the damn vehicle, it had the engine light on, and they tried to fix it. They turned the engine light off, but a month later, the engine lights came back on. So I literally bought the car, and it had the engine light on. And they were saying, "Oh, it's just you need to stop pressing the emergency brake, blah 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 blah." But actually, it was something wrong with their piping. Whoever welded the engine to the emission, the catalytic converter, you know how they had it's for the emissions to the exhaust, that wasn't welded properly. So in order for me to get it fixed, I have to re-weld that whole system. And they tried to fix it once, and it didn't work. The engine light is still on. So Chrysler is recalling 26,776 of their 2024 Pacifica and Voyager vehicles. The automaker said the traction control system does not function when the cruise control is activated. When the vehicle has an inactive traction control system, it can increase the risk of crash, according to the NHTSA report. And of course, I gave you that number again, 1-800-853-1403. Okay, so the recall vehicles is 2024 and 2020 Pacifica and the Voyager. And the Ford Broncos and Escapes, they're recalling that. They have 42,000 vehicles that they're recalling. Okay, something's wrong with their software. Free engine control software update to detect the pressure drop in the fuel injection system, and federal regulator reported. The federal regulator reported. Should that occur, the software will disable a high pressure fuel pump, reduce engine power, and cut temps in engine compartment. Owners will also get seek service messages. Okay, and so they have 1-800 number 866-436-7332. So Chrysler, back to Chrysler, they're having a recall. But one of their CEO blasted Biden. Another debacle by this administration. Former Chrysler CEO blasts Biden's EV mandate, saying that you can't control it and you can't force it down the throat of American consumers. Back to what I was explaining before. You have this mandate, EV mandate, and we don't have the, and I'm saying Chrysler is not leading in that type of technology. A lot of their parts is coming from China. Their quality control is kind of shaky. I think they're, doing research, but then people are not trusting the technology because it's so new. So people are apprehensive of, buying this electric vehicle. Now, I can say, hey, it's been a dream, because when you drive it, if it's electric and it just runs off electric, you just plug it in. You don't have to go, you're not using any gas. You're not going to the gas station, as long as you're timing and charge it every night. I don't know if you could go on a long road trip, but you just have to make sure you plan your trip. But you're trying to force this, and so people are not really on board with it. They could say they're on board, but then you look at your money. Your money's really not on board with it, because you can't afford it. And it says the CEO, it says to facilitate automotive industry transition towards electric vehicles, the Biden administration has rolled out a range of initiatives aimed at promoting EV adoption. However, Bob Nardelli, the former CEO of Chrysler, is skeptical about the government's role in this transition. During the interview of Fox Business, Nardelli discussed the challenges facing Americans' EV industry. There are 64,000 EV charging stations compared to 196 gasoline stations, he said. Nardelli also highlighted the reliability issues associated with EV charging stations compared to traditional gasoline pumps. This is another issues, another debacle by the administration, trying to create a revolution versus allowing an evolution, he remarked. You can't force it down a consumer's throat. He also says startups don't make it, probably because they don't got enough money to put towards the research. With the increasing number of EVs hitting American roads, EV stocks have garnered significant interest. However, Nardelli has noted that the recent developments in the area has not fully lived up to their expectation. Tesla really missed the number in their first quarter, he said. In quarter one, Tesla delivered 386,000 EVs, representing about 8.5% decline from the same quarter last year. This figure also fell significantly short of Wall Street expectations, which had forecasted deliveries of 454,000 vehicles. Nardelli also called out Chinese EV manufacturing, BYD, stating BYD missed it even further. They were only 300,000 vehicles. I don't know. What is BYD? I don't know who that is. BYD sold 300,000 vehicles in the first quarter, a drop of its record-breaking quarterly peak of 526 vehicles EV sold in the preceding 3 months. Regarding the emerging players in the industry, Nardelli does not hold a particularly optimistic view. Rivian lost $5.4 billion last year, he said, so they're having a heck of a time. These startups are just not going to make it. And like I said, if you don't have a startup in EV vehicles, since it's such a new type of thing, it's not new either. We can't even say it's new. It's just catch and win, because the DeLorean has been out for some years and it was electric vehicle. But I guess it's more affordable for people. But back to what I was saying, if you have a startup company, you're developing into your research and all that stuff, but you don't have any money coming in. So if you don't capture some of the market share, it's kind of hard for you to actually do your research, put money towards research, or allocate money towards research. And also, hey, we need to focus on our sales as well. So you're new into the industry, so you don't know. You're kind of guessing as you go and trying to guess the market. Whereas Ford, I talked about this last year. Ford is able, or maybe the beginning of the year, Ford is able to invest. I think they said they lost $10 billion in investing in EV vehicles because they're able to afford it. You know, they're able. Toyota, they're able to afford it. They're able to lose that type of money and invest in their research because they still have another line or several lines of products that they could sell in the market. So it's kind of sad for, these car companies. They're trying to, hey, we're going to go this Biden administration way. And then, your consumers are kind of sketchy. Like, I don't know if I want to buy an EV vehicle because something might happen to it. Then I'm having a problem getting it fixed, blah, blah, blah. Then you have these new car companies. They don't have enough resources to do the research, and they're losing because they probably putting out crappy stuff that's not better than the older car companies. Okay, so the Biden administration recently highlighted the significant progress made in the EV sector. Since the president took office, EV sales have more than quadrupled, with more than 4.5 million EV vehicles on the road. Yes, because there's tax incentives. If you buy American EV vehicle, you could get a tax. I think it was like, I know Chrysler offers like $7,500 dollars in tax incentive, but there's a cap. There's a cap. Your vehicle, I think there's a cap on your income and a cap on the vehicle amount. I got to go back and read it, but there's a cap. However, the government regulatory stance may soon soften. Yeah, of course, because we're going to get a new administration in. The New York Times reported that the Biden administration plans to slow the pace of limits on tailpipe emissions. The move is intended as a concession to automakers and labor unions, said unnamed sources. Yeah, of course. You making all these concessions or demands on auto industries, and they're going to be like, oh, we got to start, they already got this new contract that they got to fire people. Now you making all these demands. It's going to cost us more to manufacture here. We're going to look at Mexico and some other countries to manufacture because you got all these demands. And for us to meet the demands and not be in a poorhouse, we're going to open up another facility in Mexico or somewhere where there's cheaper labor and import the car in. So anyway, there you have it with Chrysler vehicles and other vehicles being recalled, and the force of being pushed to EV vehicles. And I don't think we're ready to do that. And also, the quality aspect of EV vehicles. You guys put in the chat, let me know what you think. Matt Torrance is in the building. That's the guy who created my music. So if you want to, Truska, if you want to talk to him, that's Matt Torrance. That's the guy. Prince Majestic, I don't understand wokeness angle. The words is one Candace Owens and a lot of other bootlickers use. We can be conservatives without bootlicking. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know, Prince. I agree with you. I don't like to use the word wokeness either, or woke. I just put that on there because I know it triggers people. So it's YouTube, okay? It's YouTube. I don't like to use woke and what else was I saying? Diversity and inclusion, DEI. Oh, there's a DEI person or whatever. I don't like using those words. Anyway, but you got to call it as you see it. If the idea of battery, now this is Truska, if the idea of battery power EV is to reduce our impact on environment, then it's a flawed strategy by its own design. Pollution associated to the battery manufacturing industry is insane. Also, yeah, it's insane. Also, with producing electricity, you do have coal fire plants. Coal is in abundance in the US. Okay, they do have SCRs connected to them to reduce emissions, and they have a flue stack to reduce emissions, but you're trading now one emission for another. But you got to realize battery Batteries. There's one in Michigan. I don't know if they produce the batteries here. They probably, fab the parts from China. But most of those things are like the computer chips and all that stuff. The batteries are probably coming from overseas somewhere. Now, if this is a worldwide initiative, and it's probably so, it is a worldwide initiative. What are you? It's like you said, it's a flawed strategy by design. Mining lithium is dirtier than a diaper. Okay, Matt, was it you who created? Sure. Okay, I'm gonna stay out your business. John, thank you for tuning in. From Dallas. Okay. So you guys put in the chat, let me know what you think about Chrysler and Chrysler EV vehicles and Chrysler being recalled. There's 300 and something odd thousand vehicles being recalled. Just go back to that timestamp and I tell you where you could actually call if you haven't received the actual recall poster. So my next and final story I would like to talk about. Chicago. Chicago has, okay, since it's warming up, of course, Chicago is going through some things. Crime increases when the heat increases in Chicago. And I think that's everywhere. I'm just saying Chicago because it was the first thing that flashed across my screen last night.
Hey, Tech Leads.
And this is the father speaking out after the 9-year-old daughter killed in Chicago mass shooting.
Her father about his shock and pain.
7 adults and 4 children were shot in the mass shooting. Those 4 children were brought here to Comer Children's Hospital. Out of the 4, Ariana Molina died.
I know she's going to go crazy. She loves her.
A message no husband ever wants to deliver to his wife. Their 9-year-old daughter, Ariana Molina, is dead.
I don't even know what to tell her.
Jose Molina, Ariana's father, says Saturday evening he and his family were celebrating his sister's first confirmation to be baptized. Suddenly, he heard gunshots.
Shots fired said it was like 50 shots.
Police say 11 people were shot in the 2000 block of West 52nd Street. Molina says all the victims were family members. He was injured as well.
I got shot in my leg and my feet, but I'm okay. He just came in and out. But like I said, I don't care about my leg. Just my daughter, she was too young for this.
His daughter was shot in the head.
When I saw my daughter on the floor, she had a bullet hole in her head. I tried helping her, but it was too late.
He says his 2 nephews were both shot in the stomach twice. One is 1 year old and the other is 7 years old.
Can you get us another ambulance? We got another person shot.
Molina says they've lived in the neighborhood for 30 years and have never had any problems.
She didn't have nothing to do with nothing of that. None of us were gangbangers. We don't gangbang. We've been here 30 years. We don't do none of that.
He's hoping to see justice soon.
Why they do it? Little kids, man, they got a big life. Why would they do that to them?
Molina tells us they were in the process of moving out of the neighborhood because of recent shootings. Reporting at Comer Children's Hospital, Sade Gray, CBS 2 News.
Sade, thanks.
That's heartbreaking. That's very heartbreaking. So in this incident, let me just share you this one. No, this is the wrong one. It says at least 43 people have been shot, 7 fatally, in the gun violence across Chicago so far this weekend. It says police said on Saturday night, a mass shooting in Chicago's South Side left at least 11 people shot, including 4 children. Chicago fire official says the victim includes 7 adults, 4 children. A 9-year-old girl was shot in the head and later pronounced dead. A 1-year-old boy shot twice in the abdomen. Taken in for a critical condition. An 8-year-old boy was also shot in the abdomen and left with critical injuries. The adult victims range from 9 to 40. And on Saturday, there was another guy that was shot on the northwest side. He was pronounced dead. Police said the shooting happened in Logan Square neighborhood, the 2600 block, North Sawyer Avenue, just after 6:30 a.m. A 29-year-old man was shot in the body and died at the scene, police said. What led up to the shooting was not immediately clear. They don't never know. I mean, they say some crazy stuff. Do they ever know? It's just some stupid people doing stupid shit. No one is in custody. The area detectives are investigating. They don't know. None of these people are gonna have justice. It's a waste of time. Hours later, a man was injured in the shooting on the city's north side. Chicago police said the shooting happened in Old Town neighborhood's 1400 block of North Orleans Street just after 10:30 a.m. A 35-year-old man was outside when someone inside the vehicle fired a shot, striking him in the leg. Police said the victim was transported to Northwestern Hospital, where he is listed stable condition. No one's in custody, and the area detectives are investigating. They might as well put that on all of them. No one's in custody, and the area detectives are investigating. Chicago police are also investigating 2 teens that were shot in a separate incident on the north side. The first shooting happened at 9:30 near Mozart and Glen Lake in the West Ridge neighborhood. It says investigators said the 16-year-old boy was walking when the gunman inside a car fired in the teen's direction. He was transported and he was listed in good condition. And about 3 hours later, a 17-year-old girl was dropped off at Thorwick Hospital in Uptown. She has been shot twice in the upper right thigh, according to police. Police said the girl was very uncooperative and refused to answer any questions. That's half of the reason why they don't go solved, because nobody want to cooperate with the police. She knows who shot her and she ain't gonna tell, which is ridiculous. Let's see what the Mayor Brandon Johnson had to say about this. Mayor Brandon Johnson, he was silent. Let me see if I can. So this is what the mayor had to say. He issued a statement after the 8 killed in a mass shooting and that girl was killed. It says after the mass shooting at the confirmation party left an 8-year-old girl dead and numerous others injured, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson outlined a series of steps being taken to help the community heal from a tragedy. What steps are you taking? In a statement Sunday, Johnson said in part, He was praying for Ariana and her community and loved ones. They experienced the unimaginable pain of losing a child. This heinous and cowardly act of wanton violence that leaves our city mourning children is beyond reprehensible and has no place in our communities, he added. We are all allowed to be outraged today, a warm spring day that I am sure this child would have been enjoying with his family. Chicago's Community Coordination Center, I'm sorry, I didn't share this part with you. Chicago Community Safety Coordination Center, which spans multiple departments, developed an initial response plan to the shooting, which includes opening an emergency services assistance center, providing victim services and offering financial support for Ariana's family. The heightened police presence will also be in place at impacted schools, official says. The shootings left a total of 10 people wounded, including 3 boys, 1, 8, and 9. The 7-year-old victim the other 7 victims were adult between the ages of 19 and 40. We already talked about that. And of the victim, 36-year-old is listed in critical condition. Area 1 detectives were continuing to investigate as of Sunday evening. The mayor's office said it would be in contact with Chicago PD, which is committed to identifying and apprehending the individuals responsible. He said, this is from the mayor office. This is a complete statement, continuing from what I read earlier. I am also praying for the recovery of the 3 children and 7 adults who were injured in this horrific shooting. Our mayor's office of community safety has been contacted with Chicago PD and is committed to apprehending the individuals. The response plan is a mass canvassing event at 52 and Damon and surrounding blocks on May at 2 p.m. This Monday, so that's today, at 2 p.m. with the purpose of providing the community access to behavioral teams, victim services, and case management, financial support for the family of child who passed away via emergency supplemental victim fund. It's sad that you got to have one of those type of funds for a child. That is sickening. Emergency services assistance starting today. Victim services, other victims and families, increase 9th District CPD presence at impacted schools. As the CPD and our partners work through the investigation, the Back of the Yards community has a full support of the administration as they process and heal from this trauma. Brandon Johnson, this is not enough. If I was Brandon Johnson, curfew will be enacted. Anybody, if you're not accompanied by an adult, you are no longer allowed to be out. When did these shootings happen? In the afternoon or late afternoon? You're not allowed. It's mainly kids that's doing this. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they don't get a lot of, they got these gang initiations, number one. Number two, you don't see, and I say kids, we could say 20 something. In your 30s, if you live that type of life in your 30s, you probably like, oh, I made it to 30, so let me just straighten myself out. You're not out, or you already locked up, or in the ground somewhere. Like I said, it's these kids in Chicago, places like Chicago and Baltimore. We talked about this. They're nurturing these kids to commit these violent acts or in steal cars and do all these other things because they don't get a lot of time when they do these things because they're minors. So if I was Brandon Johnson, I would enact a curfew. This is really sickening. I would even call in the National Guard. It's sad that you gotta do these type of things, but what are you saying to your tax-paying citizens, the people, the voting citizens, the people that voted you in, the people that make Chicago run? You're saying you don't really care about them because, like the young lady, she, they dropped her off at the hospital. They dropped her off at the hospital and she didn't want to cooperate with the police officer. And when she like 17, 19 or 17, I'm pretty sure she knew who shot her. So this is they act extreme. You got to give them extreme. It's no other way. I'm sorry. These kids are raising themselves and they think this is okay to go around doing drive-bys in the car, shooting up little babies. You literally shot kids and killed them. No code, no type of moral, no type of code. They just whatever. And it like I said, it's sad. It is sad. Okay, so that was it for our business talks. You guys put in the chat, let me know what you think. Do you think Brandon Johnson should be doing more in regards to crime? It's about to warm up, and we're going to get more stories about Brandon Johnson not really doing nothing about it. Nothing about the crime in Chicago. And the people of Chicago, they just got to, I guess, suffer through it. I guess that's what they have to do. Anyway. Wonder how smooth the Democratic convention will run in Chicago this summer. It's not going to run smoothly. Democrats, they got their head up their ass. They're going to be downtown Chicago. Unless they do like California. California, when the Chinese convention came to California, they built the wall like these fake gates. They didn't let people in. And then all the homelessness disappeared. They got rid, I don't know where they put them at, but they got rid of them. They wasn't able to see them. So that's how they're going to do. I'm assuming that's probably something what they're going to do. But Brandon Johnson, he don't got enough sense to know when he needs help. He doesn't have enough sense. He thinks everything is butterflies and unicorns, and he doesn't want to demonize the kids. He doesn't want to demonize the kids. So I think the Democratic convention, some of these people are going to be upset. They're going to be upset because some illegal immigrant is going to take advantage of all these people coming in. They're going to take advantage of them. So anyway, you guys, that was it for our live stream. And we're going to see you tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but tomorrow at 1:30. And hopefully it's something good going on in the news. Okay? So I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.